Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Skate 3. We're doing a pro right now, so yeah. What are I gonna do? One up, right? We're doing a one up now. Oh no, he's going first. Okay. So we're just talking about what are I talking about? Oh gosh. Oh yeah, the picture chat now just never works, right? So yeah. I mean, okay. Put in the comments if you ever got it to work well. If you got it to work farther than like 10 feet. Okay, maybe not. Okay, if you got it farther than like 30 feet, tell me because like good gosh, we never did. So nobody I knew, and we went, and me, my brother went to 2 DSs, and then my friend and his brother. That's 6 DSs. Okay, that's insane. That's crazy. Okay. Oh no. Oh well. But yeah, that's 6 DSs. I don't think there's just some fluke. If it's 60, I know it's not exactly the biggest sample size, but like the sample size is good enough to be like, hey, look, I do not think he's just a fluke. But anyway, yeah. So hey, what are you gonna do? But yeah. So I mean, whatever. And then see, I didn't have a PSP as a kid, so for me, I did not enjoy the good games. People are like, oh, the good, I don't know. People like to argue that the good games. I'm like, that's subjective. That's very subjective. No, very subjective too. Like insanely subjective. Ah, dang. So yeah. So, but I got one eventually, and I was like, this is the greatest. It's so cool. But I cracked it. I hacked it. So I don't know if you could say jailbroke it, or I said this before, but jailbreaking scared the crap out of me as a kid. Scared the living daylights out of me because I was always like, "That's illegal, no." And it would be like, "No, there's nothing illegal about it." It's like, "Really, really?" And because a friend who did it, like, he knew exactly how to do it. Like, yeah, no, not at all, not at all, no, not at all. And I was like, "Whoa, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, no." I mean, Apple doesn't like it, but jailbreaking is not illegal. I'm like, "What? Okay, if you say so." I never did it, but like I mean, I eventually did it, but at that time I never did it, so I wasn't like, oh great, now I'm gonna go do it all day long, all the live long day. Flonka, Fishonka, Flonka. Dang it! Oh well, but yeah, it was that. It was anything like remember watching an episode of Modern Rogue, right? And they were doing some sort of hacking of a computer, whatever, and it was like okay, and then it was something like I think uh 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 Brian was like said to Jason was like, yeah, and remember in like the Dance Dance Revolutions when they were like the Dance Dance Revolution mission cabinets where it was like, no, dang, where it was like, um, yes, he was talking about the Dance Dance Revolution cabinet, and he was basically like, look, the Dance Dance Revolution cabinet. Remember when it was like, it would say something like at the beginning, because all the good ones were from Japan, so he's like, we would always say. This cabinet or this game must not be ROM, whatever, must not be played outside of Japan. And then uh, Jason was just like, yeah, as a kid, I would have just ran the frick. I would have just ran so fast out of that arcade. Like I would have been exactly the same kid. I would have been like, if it said something like, um, uh, cannot be played anywhere outside of, it's illegal to, this is illegal, that's illegal. I would have just ran fast, so fast. I would have been like, booked it so fast. I'm like, whoa, I'm out. Cause that stuff scared the living daylights out of me. Emulation scared the well, not even emulation. It was flashcards that scared me. I mean, emulation too, yes, but flashcards were what scared me because they were just repositories of games and like. Because as a kid, I was like, it's illegal. It's so illegal. I was like, now I understand what it actually is. But as a kid, I was just like, I was scared out of my ball. I had friends who used to do it all the time, and they would just be like, Stop. It's not that bad. And they'd be like, no, I guess not. Like, now I understand. It's like, oh, no, it's not. So, yeah, so, yeah, I was like, anyway, so yeah. That kind of stuff scared the absolute living daylights out of music. It was like, no, I will not touch none of this. You know? And then eventually I did it all of that kind of stuff, and I was like, well, no, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing crazy about any of this. It's great. And a lot of it is, I'm not, check your local laws on all of this stuff, so don't come back to me going, hey, but you said it was fun. No, stop. But I'm just saying, like, I've said this multiple times, okay? My stance on emulation is, if they're not making money on it, what's the point? It's fine. Go ham. So, like, that's also why you'll never see something like like a good Switch emulator, right? No! Dang it, I lost. Nah, well. Or a good Xbox One emulator, or even a good 360 emulator, because they'll be, they're in this, like, we just ended like that period of like 360 and all that, like, and like, we were like, no, nah, I'm gonna retry apparently. So yeah, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna see it because like people like in that, like, no. Like, you don't want to get into the legal area with it, but you'll see things like the NES, because the NES, forget, no, they're not making money on any of that stuff. And then you can argue they could, right? You can. Oh no! Dang it! You could argue they could, but you know, the Atari 2600 is not making any money. Atari is not making money on the 2600 if you emulate it. And that's the thing. Buy a real game, man. You can't emulate that. It's illegal. It's like, yeah, it's not going to Nintendo if you buy a real game. So it's not going to Nintendo. So what's the point, right? So that's just my stance on emulation. Now that I know all about it, like, oh, yeah. Even as a kid, it scared the absolute living crap out of me. The daylight, like, it scared me half to death. It was like, are we gonna go to jail? Am I gonna go to jail? Because I was also scared of, like, guilty by association. No! Damn it. I'm not gonna win this, am I? But yeah, so. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just kind of, oof, a little, ee, ooh. So, yeah, so. Yeah, because you used to get some stuff like that. Like, this show must never be broadcast outside of, or like the things that scared me too were the, not super much, because that we did all the time, and like, oh no! Is that coming out? No, damn it. It was the FBI warnings before, like, VHS tapes. Because I think I just, like, not, like, I just stopped and like thought about it one day, because we used to record VHS tapes all the time. I'm gonna say that right now. We recorded VHS tapes all the time, but it just, like, occurred to me one day. I stopped and I thought about it. I'm like, we're gonna get caught. We're gonna get fined. But even then, it was like 20, I don't know, like 15 years after VHS. So, like, no. Because I also love how VHS at the beginning was very much. Because at the beginning it was, you cannot distribute this, right? You can't make a copy, whatever, right? So you cannot reproduce or something like, you cannot reproduce this tape, right? And then they got real specific near the end, where there was like, you cannot reproduce in any way, shape, or form this piece of content, or or distribute it in any way, shape, or form. And it was like, oh, we were all like, oh, like, oh, because it went from because at first they gave like everyone the rights to like record whatever they wanted off of anything. Because it was the whole Sony Betamax thing, where like when they first came out with Betamax, they were like the courts were just like, no, you know what? The Supreme Court was like, no, no, this is stupid. You can record whatever you want off of TV, and as long as you keep it, it's fine. Like we don't care. You know what I mean? Nobody cares, right? Right? Which is fine, but you know. And then we had that kind of same thing with VHS tapes, right? We were just like, oh yeah, so we're allowed to record whatever we want, and that's the thing. I think there was a limit to that too. It was like you had to have it when it was on your off of TV, and it can't be like just reproduce a movie, and you know, and you know people handed it to their friends all the time. Of course they did. Of course everyone did. Come on. But the thing, you know, that's why at the end it was like you cannot do a thing. You cannot reproduce it in any way, shape, or form, in part or in whole or part, in any way, shape, or form. And we were all like, okay. And you cannot distribute this in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if you just like make it a contest and some guy in halfway across the world, you know, on the other side of the world, you know, just wins it. And no, or like, I don't care if you just hand it over to your neighbor. No, you can't hand it to your son. No, stop. So I think that'll be it for now, guys. So adios, mi amigos.